Chelsea's problem is they can't score goals.
Is it a bit simplistic or lazy to say if you stick a centre forward in those clips, you might have scored a few goals?
Well, not just last night, for the whole season. I mean, if the team they had on the pitch last night, there was 17 goals between them. There's not enough goals. Havertz doesn't see himself as a centre forward. Kante certainly doesn't. The other players haven't been scoring regularly enough. Sterling, who was bought to score goals, is left on the bench. Mudryk on the bench. A load of forwards on the bench. They had reputations of scoring goals, but they haven't scored goals. So he picked a team that he thought all round would nullify the threat of Real Madrid, and that might get them going and get something into the match. And he did his best, but they weren't good enough. I mean, the problems go way beyond last night's match, Tommy.
I want to get you in this, Richard, because there's Thiago Silva was speaking to Be In Sport after the game, and it was quite like the points he made were completely fair enough points that maybe if you lads had said them you wouldn't question them at all. But just coming from a player on the inside, I thought it was interesting. The first step has been made, an incorrect step. In other words, 600 million that they spent in the last year. But it has been made, and we can't be blaming the managers if we don't take responsibility. It's a hard period for the club with a lot of indecision. He goes on to talk about the 30 players coming in, the fact they had to expand the dressing room, it was too big. The fact that likes of Aubameyang, was brought in and isn't even in the squad. And it was pretty frank sort of summary of where they are. And as Brian says, like once now they're confronted with the fact they're out of the Champions League, no Champions League football next year, possibly no European football, and a big squad of players and no manager. So is it a big mess they're in?
Huge mess, yeah. I think since the new owners have come in, they've only interfered. They've not helped anyone really. They've just tried to sort of firebomb everything and just make as much of almost a scene as they possibly can. Try and say, right, we're Chelsea, we've got loads of money and we're going to do what we want. There's been no structure to what they're doing, and you can, when the players start realising it, because generally the players will just get on with it and hopefully they'll play at the weekend and they'll be happy enough. Thiago Silva's the captain, he plays regularly, and even he's speaking up and he's gone, look, it's just not on the way they're going. I think when they sacked Potter, they gave themselves a lot less chance of getting through that round against Real Madrid than they would have if he had stayed there. I think bringing in Lampard, he was unsuccessful at Everton. They couldn't score a goal at Everton, and then they bring him in to try and solve a problem which he couldn't fix previously. And it's a club with the group of players they've got. They'll have a really good side next year. They should be able to compete at the top end of the Premier League, I would have thought, with maybe the signing of a centre forward. But they have to get the managerial decision right in the summer, and they have to settle down, and they obviously don't want to trim the squad down. They want 6 or 7, 8 players out. The new manager will want another 2 or 3 coming in as well. So it's they need to trust the manager and just maybe take a step back themselves, the owners. And
maybe a few less speeches in the dressing room from the owner after games. So that's Chelsea.